What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. So I've already made a video talking about more accessible teams for the upcoming treasure map versus Gecko Moria. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, I would advise checking that out, giving you guys a little bit more ideas as to certain teams you can go ahead and build. But in this video, we're going to be talking about my own personal teams, and obviously we're going to be using more summon-focused characters, you know, characters from the treasure map Sugofest, and just more Sugofest exclusives, more rare recruits and stuff. So if you guys want to see the teams that I'm using for this event, that's what we're going to discuss today. And you know, the teams that we use here are going to work, but I may change things as time progresses throughout the treasure map. But obviously as soon as the treasure map starts, these are the teams that I will be using. So without further ado, let's go ahead and scroll all the way down and get started with our first team, which is going to be against Vasco Shot. And with this team here, we can see that we are not using a fully boosted team. And, you know, when we are up against the Battle Rush, I typically like to build teams that are more focused on speed, clearing them as fast as possible, and then stacking all of the point boosters for the intrusion boss and the final boss, so against Blackbeard and Moria. But this team does have still a lot of good boosted units. We're using double Dogstorm as our leads, with Cat Viper as a crewmate. And the reason for that is because we can use the super class specials of Dogstorm, which allow us to wave clear the first two stages. And then on the final boss stage, we're going to have matching slots for our bottom row characters, because we get given top row strength, middle row quick, bottom row dex slots, and then we are inflicted with special bind, so the Cat Viper on the crew can actually get rid of that. And then the defense up can be removed via Goldie Roger special. And with all of this is going to be enough damage to get through. The bottom row characters have slots. We have an orb boost with Luffy. We can get an attack boost via Cat Viper or the Dogstorm. Usually would use Dogstorm for the attack boost. But remember that this character, Vasco Shot, is likely going to have the smallest HP pool out of all of the bosses. So you shouldn't have to worry about this one as much. And now we get to talk about the secondary boss versus Avalo Pizarro. So this side boss, we're going to be focusing on bringing an int team, and we're using Big Mom as our captain this time around, and mainly just focusing on using her super type special, or super class special, super type special it is, on stages 1 and 2, because it does do wave clearing. Now I know that Big Mom herself does do wave clearing as well, but the thing is that it's a lot slower, because you have to tap and then you have to wait until the end of the turn, and it's just kind of annoying. So we're going to be using her super type special to just wave clear the first two stages. It should make it a little bit easier. We could just literally just do taps for the first two, for the first stage, because there's usually only 2 turtles there, and then on the second turn we can go ahead and use one of her super type specials. But the good thing about Big Mom is that her special does provide us with a full board of Semler slots, which will be beneficial to our crew. We have to deal with the special reverse, so the Catarina Devon reduces the cooldown of both Driven and Powerhouse characters, and we have Bind inflicted to our top row, which is obviously pretty bad, but we have Heat and Y that can get rid of that, and we also have the Rainbow Shield to deal with, and we can deal with that with the Killer special, which also does provide a little bit of a color affinity boost to our team. So it gets around all of the debuffs, not too bad. We still are inflicted with a 2-turn 1.1 times attack and all boost, so that obviously is a little bit annoying. So I think as time progresses we may have to alter this team, but I think for now, for the initial playthroughs, this will be fine. But you know, depending on how deep of a nav level that we get to, this may need some tweaking as time progresses, but luckily, obviously, no normal attacks only. At least from what we can see, there's no normal attacks only. So even if we do not kill, the end of turn damage from Big Mom is actually going to do a lot of additional damage to the boss, which is pretty nice to see. And now we have a look at the third Battle Rush boss versus Catarina Devon. So we're going to be using the 6+ V2 Sakazuki here. He's a great unit. He's like totally built for this. We also have wave clearing with the Caesar character, and he's boosted too, which is even better. But we can use Caesar special stage 1, we can use it stage 2, so that we get to the final stage a lot easier. And Akainu deals with a lot. He deals with the block slots, he deals with the blue shield, and he deals with the rainbow shield, and he also deals with the resilience. So he deals with essentially everything. We do need a character to get rid of paralysis still, so you could put a character on the team that has the ability to, you know, have the support of Bartolomeo. I might actually do that, you know, just put Hancock, Nami, Robin on the team, and then just, you know, use the support of Barto, so that we only really have to use one special on the final stage. That probably is the best way to go about it, so I might actually tweak the team to add that. We also have the supports of Nami to get a color affinity boost on the final stage, and we also have the Doflamingo, which gives us us a chain boost on the final stage without having to activate an additional special, which is good. Giving us additional damage without launching specials is always useful, makes the team just a lot faster. So a pretty awesome team that shouldn't really have any issues for a very long time against Catarina Devon. Okay, so now we have a look at the last of the Battle Rush bosses versus Shiryu, and we have wave clearing once again with Zorajiro, who isn't a boosted unit and isn't really boosted on Law's team at all, but he's just a really solid unit to allow us to get wave clearing on 2 separate stages. So the damage is really going to be coming in from Law and Beppo, as they have type advantage against Shiryu being a strength boss, and we have to deal with special reverse, which is why we have the Law special himself, because the crewmates are the only characters that actually get inflicted with special reverse. So Law is not affected, which means when we use his special, it does reduce the cooldowns of our free spirit and our cerebral characters. We get given special bind on our left hand side, and then we are inflicted with paralysis as well, but luckily Law's captain ability just outright resists it altogether, which is why I said that I'll probably change Hancock, Nami, Robin over to the other team, just so that we have one less special to launch on that stage anyways. But yeah, a pretty straightforward team here that shouldn't really have any issues versus Shiryu, considering, you know, just Law and Beppo themselves are going to be pretty much the only units that we should need in order to get through this fight. And here we go versus Blackbeard, the final boss, and of course we are going to be using the fully boosted team. So this is the highest amount of point boost that you can actually get in this treasure map with a Blackbeard friend captain. And of course, luckily we did pull the Jesus Burgess and the Shiryu, and we also pulled Kid as well to give us a little bit of additional points, which is just ridiculous. Unfortunately, we do have to use this Sabo character because he is like he's like the highest point boosting unit that removes paralysis, because we do have to deal with paralysis on battle 2. Maybe you could get around it with some supports or something like that, but it's just a lot easier to deal with it in this fashion. Having Kid on the team is really nice because it enables us to remove the block slots that get inflicted to us on battle 2, changing them into tandem, which means that we can actually get access to the super tandem mechanic, though I don't think super tandem is going to be that important in the treasure map itself, but it's nice that that functionality is kind of there, you know. And then of course on the final stage we get given a full board of type slots, which Blackbeard can change into tandem for us with his super type special, as well as giving us an attack boost. We get inflicted with bind, of course, but Blackbeard deals with that, and there is a tap limit, but that doesn't really matter too much for us anyways. So this is a pretty substantial team that really isn't going to have any issues at all with this boss, and it's going to be a lot of fun to go ahead and use this Blackbeard against the Blackbeard boss itself. I can't wait to use it and see how much damage we can actually do with it. And then, of course, against the Intrusion boss, Gecko Moria, this is going to be essentially, you know, the same kind of team that you guys just saw versus the Blackbeard fight, with one major change coming in from not having Sabo on the team, but instead putting Catarina Devon on the team instead. And the main reason for that is because of the special reverse that we kind of have to deal with, and that special reverse is pretty significant too, because it's 5 turns of special reverse to our middle row, so we can go ahead and use Jesus Burgess, which actually will deal with that special reverse for us. It gives a -2 cooldown, so it means that Shiryu will go down to where he needs like a 3 more special cooldown, and then we can use Catarina Devon also on that stage, and she gives cooldown to Driven and Powerhouse by 1, which means that Shiryu will be on a 2-turn cooldown before killing stage 2, and that means that when we move into stage 3, when you count that plus the preemptive attack, Shiryu will be ready to go when we reach the battle 3, which means that we can use his special to remove the attack down that is inflicted to our crew. And of course, in terms of all of the chain debuffs, in terms of chain attack down, chain coefficient reduction, Blackbeard's special ability will enable us to get the chain boundary effect. We can even use Kid's special ability as well, which will give us the tap timing additional bonus too, which is really good. So we're getting a lot of additional tap timing and chain related buffs from Kid and Blackbeard simultaneously. And I'm not really too sure at this point in time in terms of how we actually proc the special interrupt, and that's really going to alter the way people build their teams. And it is unfortunate that we don't actually know how the interrupt works, because it's kind of difficult to build a team if you don't know how these gimmicks actually work. So it is a bit of a shame that that is the case, but you know, it's not going to take long for us to figure out what the interrupt is going to basically be triggered by, and I'll definitely discuss it more when I make my initial video of doing a playthrough, as well as we'll discover it on stream, because I will be streaming when the treasure map goes live. So this is the teams that I am using currently to take on the Gecko Moria treasure map, but as I said, these teams are likely to change as time progresses throughout this treasure map, but it all depends on how things go. I'm pretty happy overall with how these teams look so far though. But with all of that, that is going to conclude yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this one, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure you go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.